On the 26th of February, the quiet town of Kissimmee, Florida was rocked by the sudden disappearance of 13-year-old Madeline Soto. Madeline, known affectionately as Maddie to her friends and family, was last seen on this fateful day. She was wearing a green sweatshirt, black shorts, and her favorite pair of white Crocs shoes. A typical teenager, Madeline was well-liked in her community, a bright spark known for her infectious laughter and kind heart. Her sudden, inexplicable absence sent shockwaves through the close-knit community of Kissimmee. As the news of Madeline's disappearance spread, the community rallied together, their collective shock turning into action. Neighbors, friends, and even strangers joined in the desperate search for the missing teenager, combing through parks, woods, and residential areas, hoping against hope to find any trace of Madeline. The Kissimmee Police Department, backed by the Orange County Sheriff's Office, launched an immediate investigation into Madeline's disappearance. The case quickly gained regional, then national attention. Every possible lead was pursued, every potential clue scrutinized. Yet the initial days following Madeline's disappearance only seemed to deepen the mystery, with no concrete evidence pointing towards what might have happened to her. The last person to see Madeline alive was Stephen Stearns, her mother's boyfriend. Stearns, a 37-year-old man, had moved in with Madeline and her mother a few months before the tragic incident. Stearns' behavior and his proximity to Madeline at the time of her disappearance quickly drew the attention of the investigators. The story of Madeline Soto is not just a tale of a missing child. It is a story of a community shaken to its core, of a frantic search for truth, and of a chilling suspicion that would soon turn into a horrifying revelation. As we delve deeper into the case, we'll uncover the disturbing events leading up to Madeline's disappearance, the shocking discoveries made during the investigation, and the relentless pursuit of justice that followed. The last person to see her was Stephen Stearns, her mother's boyfriend. As the investigation into Madeline's disappearance deepened, the spotlight started to fall on one individual, Stephen Stearns. The Orange County Sheriff's Office took the lead in this case, their prime suspect being Stephen Stearns, the last person to see 13-year-old Madeline Soto. As detectives delved into Stearns' past and present, they uncovered a horrifying trail of evidence that pointed to a dark, hidden side of Stearns. During the course of their investigation, detectives stumbled upon a chilling discovery on Stearns' phone, disturbing images and videos described by officials as criminal and sexual in nature. The presence of such material was not only shocking but also led to the immediate arrest of Stearns. He was charged with sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material, casting a shadow of dread over this already grim case. The incriminating evidence didn't stop there. Investigators noticed attempts to delete these damning files from Stearns' phone, indicating a calculated effort to eliminate any trace of his alleged wrongdoings. It was clear that the criminal activities were committed at the family's home in Kissimmee, leading to the involvement of the Kissimmee Police Department. As the net closed in, Stearns was brought in for questioning, but instead of providing answers, he chose to invoke his rights to an attorney. Despite the mounting evidence against him, Stearns maintained a wall of silence that only added to the growing frustration and anxiety surrounding Madeline's sudden disappearance. He was placed under arrest and transported to jail, with the expectation of being held without bond, as the gravity of his charges started to sink in. The Orange County Sheriff's Department remained tight-lipped about the specifics of Stearns' charges, leaving many questions unanswered. Despite the damning evidence, Stearns invoked his right to an attorney and maintained his silence. The search for Madeline continues, with the hope that Stearns' arrest will lead to more answers and ultimately, to Madeline herself. Even with Stearns' arrest, Madeline Soto remains missing. The mystery of the 13-year-old's whereabouts persists, leaving the community holding its collective breath, hoping for a positive outcome. Despite the chilling discoveries made on Stearns' phone, the search for Madeline is far from over. The Kissimmee Police Department, now actively involved in the case, is working tirelessly alongside the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Together, they are combing through every piece of evidence, every lead, to bring Madeline home safely. Their determination and commitment reflect the gravity of the situation, the urgency to uncover the truth in this unsettling case. Meanwhile, the community has rallied around the Soto family. Neighbors, friends, even strangers are stepping up to aid in the search. They are distributing flyers, spreading the word online, and maintaining a vigilant watch for any sign of Madeline. The spirit of unity and shared concern is palpable, a beacon of hope in a time of uncertainty. For those who may have seen Madeline, it's crucial to remember her description. She was last seen wearing a green sweatshirt, black shorts, and white Crocs shoes, A seemingly ordinary outfit, but one that could prove vital in identifying her. Every moment counts in a missing person case. The smallest detail, the most insignificant seeming piece of information, could be the key to finding Madeline. The authorities are urging anyone anywhere who may have seen something or knows something to come forward. A single phone call, a single tip, could make all the difference. As the investigation continues, so does the hope for Madeline's safe return. The community, the authorities, everyone involved is united by a single goal: to bring Madeline home. As Sheriff John Mina said, her loved ones deserve answers, and we will not stop until we find Maddie. Authorities continue to urge anyone with information to come forward. While the search for Madeline continues, so too does the legal process for Stephen Stearns. As the last person to see Madeline, Stearns' actions and silence have become focal points in this investigation. His arrest was not only for the disturbing images found on his phone, but also for the sexual battery charges linked to the criminal activities committed at the family's home in Kissimmee. Stearns invoked his right to an attorney when brought in for questioning, a move that only heightened the intrigue about his potential involvement in Madeline's disappearance. The legal proceedings against Stearns are far from straightforward. His expected no-bond status hints at the gravity of the charges against him, yet the jail records are notably scant on details. This lack of transparency not only fuels speculation, but also raises questions about the strength of the case against Stearns. Stearns' silence, however, speaks volumes. His refusal to provide information about Madeline's disappearance is not just an exercise of his legal rights, but also a potential strategy to avoid incriminating himself. This silence has significant implications, not just for Stearns' legal situation, but also for the ongoing search efforts for Madeline. Despite the legal complexities and Stearns' silence, the law enforcement officials remain undeterred. Sheriff John Mina echoed this sentiment, stating, "Stephen Stearns had an opportunity tonight to come clean with detectives and help lead them to information about Maddie's disappearance." He further pledged, "Her loved ones deserve answers, and OCSO and the Kissimmee police will not stop until we find Maddie." Despite Stearns' silence, Sheriff John Mina promises that they will not stop until they find Madeline. Stearns' legal battle is just one piece of the puzzle in the ongoing search for Madeline. As the legal proceedings unfold, the hope remains that answers will be found and Madeline will be brought home safely. The disappearance of Madeline Soto has left a deep impact on the community of Kissimmee. The neighborhood, once tranquil and unassuming, has been thrust into a whirlwind of fear, concern, and an overwhelming sense of unity. The streets are lined with posters of Madeline's smiling face, her last seen outfit, a green sweatshirt, black shorts, and white Crocs shoes, described in painstaking detail, a constant reminder of the young girl who is still out there, somewhere. Local businesses have joined the cause, using their platforms to spread the word about Madeline's disappearance. Restaurants, shops, and service providers alike have all displayed "Find Madeline" posters in their windows, while community gatherings have transformed into impromptu search strategy meetings. The local school, where Madeline was a well-liked student, has offered counseling services to classmates grappling with her absence. Teachers and students alike have joined the search efforts, determined to bring their friend home. But the effects of Madeline's disappearance ripple far beyond the borders of Kissimmee. The case has sparked a broader conversation about the safety of children, the trust we place in those close to us, and the horrifying reality of child exploitation. It's a wake-up call, reminding us all to remain vigilant, to keep our eyes open, and to protect the vulnerable among us. The community's heartache has been transformed into a force of action. Neighbors who barely exchanged greetings are now united, sharing the hope that Madeline will be found safe. The Soto family, although racked with worry, is not alone. They're bolstered by a community that refuses to give up, to let Madeline become just another statistic. As the community rallies together, the search for Madeline Soto continues. As days turn into weeks, the urgency to find Madeline grows. The clock continues to tick, the calendar pages turn, and with each passing moment, the urgency to locate 13-year-old Madeline Soto amplifies. Law enforcement agencies, spearheaded by the Orange County Sheriff's Office and the Kissimmee Police Department, are tirelessly working round the clock, leaving no stone unturned in their relentless pursuit of answers. This investigation is not a solitary effort. The community, united in their concern and their hope, has rallied together in an inspiring display of solidarity. Neighborhoods are plastered with Madeline's face, her smile a haunting reminder of the innocent life that hangs in the balance. Volunteers are organizing search parties, combing through every inch of the local area, and holding vigils, their flickering candles a beacon of hope in the enveloping darkness. But they need your help. The authorities need your help. Madeline needs your help. Madeline was last seen wearing a green sweatshirt, black shorts, and white Crocs shoes. She is a child, caught in an unimaginable situation, and every second counts in ensuring her safe return. If you have seen Madeline or if you have any information, no matter how seemingly insignificant, please come forward. You can contact the authorities directly by dialing 911 or 407-836-4357. You can also reach out to the Central Florida Crime Line or the St. Cloud Police Department. Every piece of information is a potential key, a possible step towards finding Madeline. Your call could be the one that brings her home. Your voice could be the one that solves this jigsaw puzzle. In the face of this tragedy, the plea remains the same. If you have any information, no matter how small, please come forward. The search for Madeline Soto is a story that has gripped the nation. In the heart of Florida, 13-year-old Madeline vanished without a trace. The last person to see her, Stephen Stearns, found himself in handcuffs, booked for sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. While the evidence mounted against him, Stearns chose silence, invoking his right to an attorney. With the arrest, the search for Madeline took an ominous turn. The authorities, relentless in their pursuit, have been combing through every lead, every hint that might bring them closer to Madeline. She was last seen donned in a green sweatshirt, black shorts, and white Crocs shoes. In the midst of the uncertainty and fear, the community rallied, their spirit unbroken, their hope undimmed. They've stood shoulder to shoulder, lighting a beacon of hope in the darkest of times. As we wait for answers, our thoughts remain with Madeline and her loved ones. The search continues and hope remains. This is a story we will continue to follow closely.